Too. Great. Good evening to Ben and Jure. Exactly as you've said, we are coming live to you from Murang'a town. We are at the County Tallying Center. This is Technology Primary School where tallying of votes, that is the gubernatorial, the senatorial seat, and also the women rep seat will be conducted. And just to give you a brief of what has been happening during the day, I have been traversing throughout Murang'a County and I've been bringing you pictures of various candidates that are vying for the gubernatorial, senatorial seat, women rep seat, as well as the MP seat here in this county. And just to give you incidences that happened during the day, there were reported cases in Mathioya constituency per se, where the KIMS kit actually failed in a place called Kora, that is in Kamasharia ward. There were other several incidences in various stations also there, which the county tallying center, or rather the county returning center, or rather officer rather, will tell me. There were also similar incidences in a place called Kiharu constituency, or that is something else the county returning officer will tell us. The county also witnessed a low voter turnout in the morning hours, but we saw this change during the afternoon, where we saw voter turnout actually go up. And we'll know how, in terms of percentage, what was the voter turnout here in this county. Also, most stations were closed by 5 p.m. and counting rather started immediately, but there were some incidences where maybe the polling stations was opened late in the hour, like it was late by about 30 or 40 minutes, and the IEBC officials, of course, allowed those, if it was late by 30 minutes, of course, they had to extend the time in the evening to allow voters to vote. Something else is that the counting of votes have now commenced, as I had earlier on said, and winners will be announced at their respective polling stations. That is for Member of Parliament, that is at the constituency level, and also for the Member of the County Assembly. Something else is that the presidential elections result will be relayed directly to where you are, that is Bomas of Kenya, and we will get to know each polling station, what the presidential candidates have garnered here in Murang'a County. And now joining us is Saumu Omar Chilchil, who is a county returning officer, just to give us a brief and to tell us how the day has been, as well as to clarify some of the incidences that were witnessed in this county. Though the voting actually here was smooth, there was no incidences per se, but then again, the failure of the KIMS kit and also issues to do with network failure did aggravate some of, or rather did come out big here in Murang'a County. That is some of the stations. Now, Children, maybe you can join me here, and maybe you can start by sharing with us how the day was for all the IBC officials.
Today in Murang'a County, we started voting at 6 a.m. in the morning. We had a few stations that started late, and the POs, the presiding officers, were able to compensate the time that lost, since they started a little bit late. We have 1,189 registration centers, polling stations, and indeed there was a low voter turnout. We experienced a little delays in terms of the KIMS, but this was due because some areas we had elderly who their biometrics were not able to be identified, and also for the T picking zones, their biometrics are not very clear. Yes.
So this was happening in which ward, if I may ask?
It is in Mathioya. We had a few polling stations, and mostly it's in Mathioya and Kigumo.
Okay.
Yes.
Apart from network failure and also the topography of the region, maybe what are some of the other challenges you experienced here in Murang'a County?
I think overall we had planned well. The materials arrived on time. So in terms of the logistics, we were on point. The voter turnout is where we saw a slow pace, where the voters came in late. Most of them did not come very early. Probably they had other businesses to do first before coming to the polling stations. But overall, it's almost 60% an average we are yet to get the full percentage for Murang'a County. Yes.
So the areas that the KIMS kit failed, maybe what steps did you take as IEBC?
There were only 2 where it failed and it was replaced immediately. One was the SD card that was replaced and voting continued, and another one was replaced. The others were just where a machine was a bit slow, but it didn't fail. What we did was we talked to the voters so that they were patient and able to go the process, because we have the biometric identification, the alphanumeric identification, and also there's the validation with KIMS supervisor mode.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe from the constituency level and from the polling stations, maybe you can tell us whether there's some the tallying of votes. How far are you?
By 8, most of our polling stations had closed and counting had started, because at 5 they closed, but there are a number of voters who are on the queue who are allowed to vote. So by 8, counting had started. As at a few hours ago, Gatanga had received the first presiding officer who has remitted his forms, and in Kiharu we had the prisons polling station submitted their results. Yeah. Okay. So we are hopeful that as the night goes, the POs will be submitting their results. Yeah.
Okay. We can see there's no activity going on here at the County Tallying Center. Maybe you can tell us when do we see a beehive of activities right here at the county?
First, we have to wait for the Constituency Tallying Center to tally the results for the 6 elections, and that means we are hoping that tomorrow, when all the presiding officers would have submitted their results to the Constituency Tallying Center, then the returning officers will come with the gubernatorial, senatorial, and county women representative results to our tallying center, and that is where we begin our results. Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that has been Saumu Churchill. She is the county returning officer for Murang'a County, as well as the manager for county elections at IEBC, talking to us about some of the hitches that were experienced during the day here in Murang'a County, as well as the steps they took once some of these challenges they experienced here in this county. Ben Troy, maybe if you have anything you need to ask, you can go ahead.
Yes, Carol, before you go, we are seeing 81% of Form 34A in Murang'a County have already been submitted at the IEBC tallying. National Tallying Center. Perhaps when can we expect 100%?
Well, as Churchill has already said, this voting, or rather tallying, is continuing happening here in various wards in Murang'a County. So we're waiting to hear for them to be done. Then they take it to the constituency, the county constituency tallying center. Then from there, we'll come here to the county tallying center. And then from there, I can be able to tell you that we are at 100% of presenting this 34A forms.